Hey guys, it's Lisa and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be making some scrubs with my granddaughter. I say I am, but she actually is doing almost all of the work. But first I want to show you guys how to make the mechanics scrub. I had several ask about that, and so I have in the bowl 1/4 cup of sugar, 1/4 cup of table salt, and 1/4 cup of baking soda. And then I stir that up, and now I'm adding 3/4 of a cup of Dawn. So essentially this is half liquid and half solid. So, like I said, 1/4 cup of sugar, 1/4 cup of table salt, and 1/4 cup of baking soda. And then add 3/4 of a cup of Dawn dishwashing liquid. And obviously the blue. So, you stir this up well, and then I'm going to add a few drops of essential lemon oil. You can also add tea tree oil because both of those have antibacterial properties. So either one of those could be used. So all it needs is the essential oil that I'm getting ready to add. And this will be finished. And it will be the mechanics scrub. But this is also the recipe for a gardener's hand scrub. So, after I add my essential oil here, I decided to make this a gardener scrub because I've already made the other. And I decided that if I make a gardener scrub out of this, I want it to be green. So, I just decided to add a couple of drops of yellow food coloring, and that was just enough to turn this green. And so to me it looks more like a gardener scrub if it's green. So like I said, I'm just going to add a couple, maybe few drops of yellow food coloring, and I'm using the gel here. And just be careful not to add too much because it didn't take much at all. I think there was 3 drops. But I've had questions about some of those recipes that call for food coloring. And they ask, do they stain your hands? And I've had my hands all in this. And my granddaughter had her hands in it. And it just washes right off. It doesn't stain your hands at all. And maybe that's because of, with this one, you know, you've got the soap that you add, the dish soap. And then some of the others that I did with my sister, we had the coconut oil. So, for whatever reason, it doesn't. So, now if you were going to use a body scrub, then maybe you wouldn't want to add the food coloring. But for the hand scrub, it's just fine. So now I'm putting this in this little jar, and then I'll just put a little tag that I handwrite the name of it on, and tie some twine around it, and then I'm just going to glue a couple of sprigs of some greenery, some artificial greenery, and then that's all that I do for this scrub. And now my granddaughter Shiloh and I are just going to make some different scrubs. And we're going to do all sugar-based scrubs. But we're going to kind of play with the ratio and just kind of see what we come up with. I do know the basic ingredients to use. I've looked those up. So I'm not going to mix anything together that's going to have a reaction. But we're just kind of playing with the scents and colors. And just seeing what we come up with. And we had so much fun doing this. Shiloh really enjoyed it. She was really good at it, and she did most everything. We decided to paint the lids here, but in the future, I don't know that I'll be painting many lids. I think that I'll just decide on a basic design for my jars. We went to the Dollar Tree and just got some different containers, and so we're just playing today. We're just seeing what we can come up with, but I would like to find a basic style for them and just maybe change up the sizes a little bit, but kind of keep certain styles. So I'm kind of learning with that, but this is a very neat project to do with your children or grandchildren. I think it's a very kid-friendly project. Obviously, you probably don't want to paint the lids like we're doing, but all the rest is very kid-friendly. And although it is a little messy, it's very easy to clean up. And this was a really good day for us to do this because, like I said, she was out of school today. She has not finished all her Christmas shopping, or she hadn't finished all her Christmas shopping until we worked on these. And she got some of hers out of the way, and was very excited that she could actually make those herself. And what she's doing here is just filling up the jar that she's going to work with, and we're using some larger jars here. I won't be doing large ones very much because you have so much in them, but we're just filling them up and then dumping it into a larger container so that we can mix it up. And by filling them up, we know how much sugar that we're going to need, and we ended up with a little bit of extra once we added our liquid, but this was just a good way for us to decide how much sugar needed to be in this, since this is just a sugar scrub and it won't have the baking soda and salt in it. And we wanted this scrub to be pink, so we used a dish liquid that is pomegranate scented. So we didn't use Dawn here. We used, I think we used Walmart brand. And we're just stirring this in until we get the consistency that we want. And with this particular dish liquid, because we didn't add baking soda, it seemed like the liquid came to the top when we got too much in it. So most of these, we ended up going back and adding a considerable amount of sugar to them, and then they were more the consistency of maybe icing, and they ended up working out really well. But at first, as they set, we realized that, like I said, the liquid was coming to the top some. So my suggestion is to mix them. We mixed this one in a jar, and my suggestion is to mix in a larger bowl and let it set for, I would say, about 30 minutes, just to make sure what your consistency is going to end up like. And then when you let it set and you're happy with it, and it's not too thin, then put it in your jar. So we learned. We were just, like I said, we were experimenting here, and we learned. But like I said, we added too much liquid to begin with. So if you're in doubt, I would go with less liquid. And as I'm watching this, I'm seeing that it's pretty obvious that we added too much liquid. So, but like I said, it was an easy fix. We just went through and added more sugar, and then we ended up with enough to fill a couple more jars up, so some smaller jars. So it was, like I said, a very easy fix, and we enjoyed this. This was very fun to do. And then when we got finished, our hands felt really amazing. It just got, we got the scrub on our hands, and so every time we had to wash it off, you could just really feel a difference in your hands. So like I said, this one was we wanted this to be a lady's hand scrub, and we did it in the pomegranate. We decided to add just a little bit of lemon, essential lemon oil to it for the antibacterial properties. So we called this one pomegranate lemon, but we also wanted it just a little bit more pink. So we added just a little bit of food coloring to it. And it looks here like it's going to be too dark, but as she gets it stirred up, it ends up being a really pretty color of pink. So this is one that we did, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's finished. And the next one that we're going to do is in the little jar, the little Avon jar, because Shiloh wanted this one herself, and she loves lavender, so we made this one with lavender oil. So we put the sugar and probably 6 to 8 drops of lavender oil in it, and then we used red and blue food coloring. Now I will say, trying to get purple is not easy. Trying to get a pretty color of purple. So we tried mixing it in the sugar first, just to kind of see how much we were going to need, but it's not an easy color to get. So we went ahead and added for this one, because we don't want to mess with the color. We're using a liquid hand soap on this one. So you can use a body wash, but I just figured since you can use a body wash, you could use this liquid hand soap, and it didn't have a scent that would compete with the lavender scent. And then, like I said, it's not going to take the color away. So like I said, the purple that we wanted was, I think, hard to get. So I'm going to kind of work with that, or I'll probably just end up having to buy just a purple. I know that there's more colors than with this set that I got. It was just the primary colors, but I'm sure that there are purple food coloring, so that's probably what I need to do on the next one. We did manage to get the color okay, but it just wasn't exactly what we were going for at first, and I had to kind of keep playing with it. And like I said, this one's going to get lavender oil, and then we have to add quite a bit of sugar to this one also. And then it lightens as we add the sugar. And I added a little bit more red to that blue. And this here is the consistency that you want, because it's more solid, but it sticks together well, but it's more solid. So this one didn't have to be redone. This one was perfect the way it was. But like I said, that the color could have been a little better, I think. But we'll know next time to try to find some purple. So she just packed this in here well, and then I went back and dressed these up later, but I kept them kind of simple. So she packed it in there good and put the lid on it, and then we added some white wax over that lid, and it settled down into that detail, and it looked really pretty. And then we decided, because there's detail in that clear glass, we went ahead and added some white wax to that also, and it brought that detail out. And because this one was lavender, we added a little sprig from a lavender pick to the front of this one, and it was a really pretty little sugar scrub. And next we did a lemon scrub, and we used the same soap, and a few drops of yellow food coloring and about 6 to 8. Actually, this was a smaller container, so we used probably about 4 drops of the lemon essential oil. And then we did an orange one, and we did that by adding some orange essential oil and then some yellow food coloring, and then just added a little bit of red in until we got the orange that we wanted. And so then that was our orange scrub. And then the next one that we did, we had the very most fun with, because it was a peppermint scrub, and we decided to make it pretty. So what we did was we just used the liquid soap and didn't add any coloring in it, and added our peppermint oil. And then after we got it the scent that we wanted, we took about half of it out and mixed some red food coloring in it. And so what we did, and you have to make sure with this one that you get it plenty thick enough, because you don't want your colors to mix when you layer them. So what we did was just layer them into the jar, and it just made a really pretty scrub. And then Shiloh had the idea to kind of sprinkle sugar on the top, and that also added an extra touch to it that was really pretty. But I just love how these turned out, and like I said, they were so fun. But I could see this actually being a tradition for us because, like I said, we had so much fun with it, and we could get together ahead of time before Christmas and make her Christmas gifts, and even some of mine. I don't think I would get an argument from her out of that. Because, like I said, she had a lot of fun. And here are the scrubs we did today, along with a couple others that I did earlier. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great evening, and God bless you and your family.